Max, 2 races left, within a win of the championship lead. Did you ever see yourself in this position in the middle of this season?
No, not at all. I would say after Zandvoort it was more than 100 points. So I honestly thought it was pretty much over at that point. But then, we had a good turnaround. We understood the car quite a lot better. But at the same time also, I think we maximized some weekends and then McLaren didn't. Some mistakes probably creeped in. And then, we are here. Still with a chance, but at the same time also you need to be realistic. 24 points is still quite a bit. So even if it goes perfect all the way, you still need a bit of luck that they have one bad result, So I'm also quite realistic about it. Plus, that makes it also quite easy to deal with. I have nothing to lose, so we just go all in. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Well, 24 points is a lot of points, but it's less than 42, which is what it looked like leaving Las Vegas. What was your honest reaction when you got told you've suddenly gained another 18 in the championship fight?
I mean, it's better than 42. But I would have preferred to be in the lead, if I'm honest. So you can always make it up like that. But that happens. At the time I was like, I take it. But at the same time, it's just more like I was happy with the weekend that we just had, So, it at least gives a bit of a, let's say, better opportunity now.
Well, you say the weekend you just had, you won in Vegas. You obviously had the fight back drive in Brazil after what had been a tough start to that. Been a lot of fighting back from Red Bull this season. What's kind of been the key to the turnaround, do you think?
Just understanding the car, a bit better the way to set it up. But we're still not a guarantee that it was good or better everywhere. We still struggled at some tracks a little bit more than we would have liked, for sure, of course, in the first half of the season. But even in the second half, we've had really strong results. But at the same time, also some weekends where I think we were not quick enough. Some we still maximized. Some we then didn't get the best possible result.
The best possible result is a win, and you've had 6 of those this season. But there's been other times you probably think you've got the best possible result when winning hasn't been possible. Are there any other drives that you're particularly proud of this year?
Most races. I think we always really did a good job with the package that we had. Unfortunately, of course, in most of the first half, that was not really there was not really a chance of fighting really up front. But at least now it's more consistent. Let's say like that.
Are there any races, though, that maybe you don't think you maximised everything that you're not so proud of?
I mean, besides Barcelona, the rest, I think we pretty much maximized what we had. I mean, of course, looking back at it afterwards, we could have done things differently, but at the time with what we had, we maximized what we had.
Yeah, you mentioned Barcelona. Is that one now that you kind of regret a little bit, that you kind of wish you could have again?
I regret how I handled it at the time, but you also have to understand how I got to that point. So we did a lot of things wrong in that decision before I even got to how would you even call it? The moment where I got upset or whatever. But it's also because I care a lot. I could have also easily said, well, whatever, the race is done anyway, but that's not how I am. But of course, that's a moment that you look back at and that was not, let's say, not okay. But it's also not a moment that at the end of the season, let's say I miss out on the championship. It's not a moment that I will say that's the moment that I lost it, because we've lost it because of our general performance. We've still been in it also because of our performance, because we did maximize or overperform in other places, or we just were better in executing.
Well, Sebastian Vettel said on the Beyond the Grid podcast last week that actually one of your key strengths, he said you're very talented, obviously, one of the keys to your performance, he thinks, is your ability to deliver under pressure, that you rarely make mistakes when the pressure's really on. Is that something you feel like you've maybe developed, improved, matured as you've been in the sport more, or have you always had that ability?
I think I always had that. Of course, you get better with experience, but you also need to have the car or at least the environment to be able to drive and, really able to, fight for wins, right? I think I've shown in my very first year that I was fighting for a title, that I was up for it and ready for it in 21. Up until that point, I never had a chance to fight for a title. So, it's sometimes also very hard to know if you're up for it or not when you never have the opportunity. But since 21, I've had it.
Well, is that something then you think could be an advantage for you against 2 drivers that are going for their first championship, that you have that experience and those wins under your belt?
If it comes to the point of having to deliver under pressure, yes. But at the same time, like I said, 24 points is still a lot, and it needs some severe bad luck or mistake, for me to be fully in the fight.
This year has had its ups and downs. There's been a lot of adversity for the team as well. Change of team principle. We've had the car at times not performing. What have you learned about Red Bull in this season, about the way it's responded to that to be in this position right now?
That we're a strong team. That we have had tough moments, but what I like is that no one really they didn't surrender to the fact that we were basically not in the fight. We always try to find solutions, try to be better, and that's exactly what we did. And then it also really gives a lot more confidence, to look forward.
Did you also feel a responsibility to lead the team in this kind of role with the position you have within Red Bull?
Yeah, but you always have. I mean, it's not like suddenly this year it's been different to any other years. You have to always be the best version of yourself. You always have to try and give the best possible directions. You need to try and, of course, be there. I mean, you cannot just say, this year has been a bit terrible. Forget about it all. I don't care. That's not how I am. I've always been committed to finding solutions, being on the simulator, trying to work things out. And it's probably even more important in more difficult years or situations.
And it's going to be a big year for the team next year as well, becoming a power unit supplier for the first time. It's a big challenge to take on. The way it's turned things around this year, does that give you more confidence for taking on that challenge, that it can be successful?
No guarantees. So, with a new engine and everything, next year is going to be definitely a very big one, very tough one, I guess, as well at the same time. But I trust the team. We have to focus on the car and the engine, but we have a lot of smart people that are in charge of that, and time will tell. It's as simple as that.
But what would it mean for you to be going into 2026 as a 5-time world champion with the number 1 still on your car? Would that be your greatest achievement, do you think?
5 is better than 4.
Do you let yourself think about it at all?
Listen, also if it doesn't happen, it's not going to change my life. Fine, great if I win another one, but we also have to be realistic. We are in this fight still because of other people's failures, not because of, if you look at the whole of a season, what we did. Yes, we did really well. We have really maximized pretty much all races before the ones that I mentioned. But if we would have been in the position of how dominant of a car they had, let's say like that, championship would have been over a long time ago.
How excited are you to be in this position with 2 races to go, knowing that you can give it your all, you can go on the attack?
I always give it everything. Doesn't matter if I'm in a fight or not.
So it feels the same as it would if you weren't?
It does. Yeah, I'm also not trying to overhype it or sell it, Championship fight is great, but I always give it everything that I have, even if I'm driving P12, even though I hate it if I would be driving in that position. But I know that when I sit in the car, I cannot say to myself, today I'm not going to give it 100%. That doesn't exist, and it's better to stop.